proud members of the Podbelly Network.
Hi, Sammy.
Guess what we're doing?
We're doing another live show. You guys will be able to come see us on March 15th, 2020 at 7 p.m. We are performing at El Cid in Los Angeles. And guess what? Afterwards, there's going to be a hangout on the patio where you can hang out with us. I mean, until Ketryn gets too sleepy and goes to bed.
Because she's a grandma.
Yeah.
So tickets are $10. You can Venmo at KKSAM Podcast. If you are a patron, you'll get a discount. Or if you'd like to join as a patron, you'll get a discount. And all proceeds go to charity. It is going to the Downtown Women's Center in Los Angeles, which is for homeless women. It provides housing, safety, and employment for homeless women in LA. And we are excited.
And you should come to the show because it's going to be fucking fun.
Yeah.
And you can eat and drink your face off and we'll make you laugh.
And we'll put all the info in the show notes.
Yeah.
So
see you then.
Check it out. See you then. Bye.
Bye.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, come on, you know I don't watch that shit.
Why not? Too scared?
No, it's just what's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
And welcome
to
Kim and Kat Stay Alive.
Maybe.
We're a horror movie comedy podcast.
And we are going to tell you and spoil the fuck out of an entire horror movie. And Kim, this week, is going to try to stay alive in it.
That's right. I'm Kim and that's Ketryn.
Yep. This voice is Ketryn.
And this voice is Kim.
I'm the one without... I was trying to describe us, but...
In what way? Physical?
Yeah, I was trying to think of what's Kim has short dark hair. I have strange
and a side shave.
Yeah, and a side shave, but your side shave isn't in any of our promo photos. That was where I was getting hung up.
Then
she has bangs
and a side shave.
Bangs and or side shave. That is Kim. Frizzy unkept hair is me.
I think it's less about the visual that people are confused about and more about I don't even know that anyone's confused. It's just if this was their first episode, they'd be
honestly,
who's who?
So what you're saying is we're confusing them more. They're I wasn't confused, but now I'm confused.
Basically, the voice telling the story this episode is Ketryn.
Yes, I will be telling the story. This is my voice.
Cheers.
Gina holes out, tits up.
Tits up.
I'm having a really weird day, Sammy's. I switched Kim and my shot glasses.
I know, it was very uncomfortable.
I didn't like it drinking.
She walked over with the weirdest face, and I was like, "What's happening? Is everything okay?"
Because we were drinking two different things, and so I poured what Kim wanted into my shot glass.
It's very weird. We're off, you guys.
Yeah. Anyway, hi.
Hello.
I can't make any promises because my brain literally feels like half of it is on vacation right now, and I don't know where it is because I would like a vacation as well.
Yeah. Those are always my best episodes.
Yeah, I am getting maybe
hard to say.
You ever wonder where that maybe comes from in the title? We're telling you right now. I do get a little mini vacation this weekend though, and I'm very excited.
Me too.
Oh yeah, you too. Oh, we're both vacationing. That's neat. You're going to Arizona.
Are they in Arizona? I think they're outside Phoenix. My parents moved to Arizona, and I haven't been to their house, so I'm going.
There you go.
And one of my brothers and his wife and kids are coming out, so that'll be fun from Philly.
That'll be awesome. I am going up to. Oh, you know who I'm going to see, guys? Episode 47, I think. No, it wasn't episode 47. It was just 47 meters down.
Oh, I was about to be like, whoa.
No, I knew that there was a number in there.
Look at this Rain Man over here.
It is
just pulled out the episode number like it was nothing.
No, as usual, there is a drought. There is no Rain Man over here.
Whatever episode number, 47 meters down.
47 meters down.
I'm going to say 39.
Okay.
Except there's no way because it was mine and I do even numbers.
I wish we had bet on it right before you realized that. I'd be like, give me all your money.
Episode 30.
So
47 meters down.
We had major technical difficulties, but it was such a funny episode that we were like, how can we salvage this? And dear friend of my husband, dear friend of the pod, OG Sammy, Brian Sharp, made it so that it's an episode that you can listen to, kind of
tolerable.
So
at least.
yeah, I mean, honestly, there was like he basically pulled a rabbit out of our buttholes,
like
to get
how it sounds. You might have feelings about, but how it sounded before that,
it
didn't exist.
Didn't exist. Yeah. So why am I talking about Brown Chip? Oh, because I'm going to visit him. Got it. Yep. We're driving up to outside of Lake Tahoe, and they're going to be skiing all day, and Arik and I are going to be sitting by a fire drinking hot liquor.
Sounds delightful.
Yeah, it's great because Arik and I don't ski, and I'm fine with that. I can't wait to just sit by a fire.
I've never been skiing.
I've been skiing once, obviously, because I went to a private school, and everyone was like, "You've never been skiing? What do you do when your family goes to Vail?" And I'm like, "I've never been to Vail." And then I was shunned and stoned. But we had a class trip to go skiing.
What grade?
7th, I think.
We had a class trip in 7th grade to go skiing.
Really? And you
this
couldn't
is their
go?
only relation
I
of
know.
us as children.
This has literally never happened before.
Wow.
But
I went to Catholic school.
Right.
And the priest who ran the ski trip was the cool priest. Like he was super cool. Like I think he had like a motorcycle and smoked cigars or something.
Wow.
Moral of the story is he left the priesthood because he was
too cool. Yeah.
Like he was legit a cool guy.
So then nobody could go skiing.
So yeah, he like left, and I think has since got married and stuff like that, and is probably living a happy life. So
I
good
love
for
that.
him. He made some life choices, but he left like that year, and for whatever reason they like couldn't figure it out with just someone else taking over that 1 year.
Yeah.
So we didn't fucking go.
That's really annoying.
And then every year after that they like picked it back up. They figured it out like, you know,
after you were gone.
So
that's
my
annoying.
year of 7th grade, we didn't have the ski trip. So I've literally never been.
That's fucking
weird.
traffic.
I should go.
Traffic? That's tragic is what I said. No, I liked
skiing.
it. I liked it when I went. The issue that I have now is my knees are so weird.
Right.
The thought of skiing even makes my knees hurt.
Right.
Because like the idea that like my skis could go like wonky and then my knee would just pop out and I can't like pull it back in.
Right.
Like I just am like, I don't want to do it.
I'm a little scared to break something, and then health insurance is so bad that I'm like, well, I'd go bankrupt because I broke an arm or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm like,
so
maybe when Bernie gets elected, I'll go skiing. I'll celebrate by going skiing.
Oh my God, that's great. You know what?
Be like,
Fuck it.
I have
I'll go too.
healthcare.
You know what I'll do?
I could break an arm and be fine.
You can go skiing. I'll look into this whole snowboarding thing because I feel like my knees are going to stay in the same position on snowboarding.
Locks you down more.
I mean, I'll fall on my ass constantly.
Yeah. I think people like snowboarding more. Maybe I'll do snowboarding.
Yeah.
too. I'll do both. You know what? I'll do both.
That's guys, post-election ski trip. Everyone.
Who's then?
Unless there's a certain outcome and then all of us are just going to go into our bunkers and cry.
No. I'm not even.
But otherwise,
I don't even afford.
We're having a post-election ski trip.
That's not even an option in my world.
Post-election ski trip. It's going to be great. Okay, I have other business. Hold on.
Ketryn wrote down on a piece of paper today, many business. So she's got a whole list. She's got a whole list of many business.
Many business, first and foremost. So current Ketryn, which for you guys is past Ketryn, was listening to the episode from last week, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, which hasn't come out for current Ketryn, but will have come out for the Ketryn you're listening to.
Ketryn was listening to an episode 2 weeks from 2 weeks ago. Go on.
Only 1 week ago.
Future past.
Anyway, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. And I noticed that we did something that I want to clarify.
Ooh. What did we do?
The pimp character.
Are we in trouble?
No, we're not in trouble. And I want to explain to people why we're not in trouble. Because
okay.
So we talked about the pimp character who like had like a tattoo across his neck that said sex, and like we just kept making fun of like how insecure he was, and like he has a micro penis.
Right.
Okay, here's what I would like to clarify. Kim and I are not making fun of people with small penises or micro penises, which is an actual thing. What we are saying is, gentlemen, you are bigger than your penis.
Yes.
Metaphorically
Size.
and
No, yeah.
in
The
real
meaning
life.
is that your penis size shouldn't.
Doesn't matter. And like we
Yeah.
would much rather be with someone who is secure in themselves, knows that they are more than their penis size, and is like a good person who doesn't feel the need to compensate in ways that makes other people feel small.
bad. Exactly.
Like that is what we're making fun of.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I would much rather be with a micro penised, fully formed human than a big dick with a big dick.
Agreed.
That is what I want to clarify, and the official stance of KKSAM on micro penises.
Wow. Interesting.
Do you agree?
I completely agree.
Yeah. I just felt like I needed to clarify because
Okay.
it sounded like we were making fun of micro penises. And I'm like, no, I'm making fun of the dudes.
Assholes.
Of assholes. I'm making fun of...
not physical. Look, everyone has an asshole, and they're all
Everyone has
great.
an asshole.
Okay,
Everybody's
no,
asshole is
I
great.
mean, people who are jerks.
Yeah. Basically people who
Bad humans.
have an insecurity and therefore feel that they need to compensate in
other
a way
people
that
feel bad.
makes other people feel bad.
I agree with that.
That is I'm stepping off my soapbox now.
Great,
and-
thanks. I'm glad that episode hasn't even come out yet, so no one cared or had a thing about it.
Yeah.
But if they did, we'll be like, listen
Yeah.
to next week. We've already talked about it.
Yeah. So that was what I wanted to say. And then obviously there's going to be, you'll hear about this later on in the episode, but I do want to just say right off the bat that we have a live show on March 15th.
We're doing a live show now.
2020, March 15th, 2020. Because I don't want you to be listening to this in like 2023 and show up at El Cid on March 15th, 2023 and be like, where are they? So 7 p.m. El Cid. Kim and I love El Cid in Los Angeles. Hang out afterwards, after
we're
party
gonna
on the
after
patio. Proceeds are going to the Women's Center,
The downtown women's center in LA
Women's Center in LA.
to help homeless.
Yeah. So you should fucking come. And if you're a patron, you're going to get a fucking discount.
Yeah.
So
maybe you should go get yourself some Bone Con
Yeah.
over on Patreon.
yeah. Ooh, that rhymed. Did we know that rhymed?
I don't think we ever did.
Now we know. So yeah, live show. I'm very excited.
I'm super excited.
I really like doing live
It's been
shows.
a minute.
Yeah. That was
We're doing it for, this is our last Women in Horror Month
Oh yeah.
episode.
And I picked a good one.
Well, I can't wait. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
We're doing, technically we were like, let's do a live show for Women in Horror Month as like a Women in Horror Month event. And then in true Kim and Kat form,
Couldn't get a venue.
couldn't get a venue in time because, we started it in February.
Because we're
And
a
then
maybe always.
It's delightful. We're delightful.
Maybe.
So it's March 15th to celebrate Women in Horror all fucking year long, bitches.
Yeah. It's always Women in Horror Month in our book.
Yeah, truly.
That was all of my many business.
Okay.
Do you have many business?
I don't think so.
Okay, great.
I've got like a business, but like it'd be a long business, and so I'll save it for next week
Okay, great. Kim will save her long business for next week.
because I'm assuming you're out of business.
I'm out
so you'll
of
be
business. Yeah, I'm out of business.
So next week you won't have anything.
I won't have it. Yeah, my brain. I feel like I had a rough week, and like I feel like it's all coming. My brain is scrambled eggs.
Oh,
And yeah, so no more many business for me.
great.
Okay. But I did watch a really awesome movie.
So this was for Eric's birthday too, right?
Yes. So this was his request. Because his birthday, when does this come out? Who knows?
This is the last Wednesday in February.
So Eric's birthday, I have a calendar right behind me.
26th.
So Eric's birthday was 5 days ago, the 21st. So happy belated birthday.
Happy birthday, Eric.
You're neat, and we couldn't do this without you. And you're the third.
That's good.
You're the third leg on the stool that is KKSAM. so we can stand up.
You're the third leg of our microphone tripod.
Yep, you sure are.
No, I want to give a shout out to Arik and thank him so much, because truly none of this would come to your earballs without him. And he's also just like created, there's some other stuff that we're working on that I'm really fucking excited about and can't wait to share.
I can't believe that like we're like his muse right now.
Yeah,
it's very
he's
cool.
Like creating a lot of things, and you know, he's a writer, and so there's like some things being written and created and that we're
pretty excited
meeting people about. So, and he's just a pretty great guy. So I'm really grateful that he's part of my life, and that he is our third
leg of our stool. Yeah, he's. We have a nice. I married good. Good job, me. I'm patting myself on the back on my husband's birthday.
So
in true
happy birthday to you, Ketryn.
Thank you.
In finality,
Thank you so much.
in conclusion, what I'm trying to say is, Ketryn,
to me.
You're the best.
That sounds about right. I can't wait for Arik to listen to this. He's going to be like, yep, that played out exactly as I predicted. So here's what Arik picked. We could not, under any circumstances, close out Women in Horror Month without doing a Soska Sisters movie. So Arik requested American Mary.
Ooh, yay.
It was intense, entertaining. The chick who plays Mary, whose name I always forget, but she was the lead in Ginger Snaps as well. Her last name is Isabel. I think it's Katherine Elizabeth.
That was a real Rain Man situation.
It was. She is phenomenal, and I want to see her do more things. The Soska Sisters make an appearance, and it's pretty fucked up.
They always do.
And I had some nightmares.
Ooh.
And I'm still having
excited.
like, it's a body horror. So like I'm still having, I don't know if this happens to you, but like when you watch something that's like really gruesome body horror, like it kind of makes that area of your body like kind of hurt a little bit. Like
probably not.
Okay. I'm having some very specific sense memory of what I watched.
We'll see if it happens while you tell it to me. Maybe.
Like, don't tell me your vagina didn't hurt when Art the Clown sawed you in half by it.
It didn't.
Really? God. Okay.
I was like, I don't want that to happen to me. That would hurt. Like I was like, owies.
Owies, owies.
That would hurt anyone, including me. But no.
Oh,
I don't have
okay.
physical reactions to things like that. Sorry.
Here we go. Dead or alive? Mary.
Alive.
Billy.
Dead.
Betty Boop.
Dead.
Ruby.
Alive.
Dr. Walsh.
Alive.
Dr. Grant.
Dead.
Lance.
Dead.
And Detective.
Alive.
Wow. I mean,
Is it so bad?
it's just, I don't know. Just for probability's sake, like, I don't get why you're so bad at this. I don't get it. Like, it kind of defies science. Like, you should be better at it than you are.
You can't just be should anything.
But what I'm saying is like, sorry, guys, hold on. I'm really tangled up here. Here we go.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
I thought we were still talking about probability, but
no, I mean,
then we got distracted by chords.
Yeah, and then we just moved on.
Little bird brains just moved to something new. Wow.
None of which you heard, Sammy's, because we will have cut the part where I got tangled in cords. So it sounds like Kim and I just abruptly stopped talking about what we were talking about.
The probability.
Yeah, the probability of us.
Oh, I was saying, yeah, I was like, there's no, maybe there is a probability situation, but I'm like, you can't be like, why I'm so bad at it. There's no, it's just saying one or the other.
Right.
There's no way to.
But like what I'm saying is, if a coin flip landed on tails for infinity, you'd be like, I get that it's only a 50-50 probability, but something weird is happening here. And like, it's as if your coin flip is landing on tails for infinity.
Oh. God damn it.
So that's what I'm saying. Okay. Here is the movie, American Mary.
I'm excited.
Yeah. It opens on someone suturing extra wings onto a turkey, like a turkey that you would eat for Thanksgiving. Like it is a turkey that someone bought at the store, and then they bought some turkey legs and wings, and they are performing surgery on the turkey and suturing it on.
Okay.
And classical music is playing as this is happening.
Is it cooked or raw?
Raw. So it's like more reminiscent of human skin, obviously. Obviously.
I was like, I didn't think of it that way. I was just being like, oh, is it prepared for Thanksgiving or not prepared?
Right. It's someone, it's obvious that someone is like practicing on something that is reminiscent of human skin.
Want like extra turkey for Thanksgiving.
No, they don't. They don't
just have a lot of people coming over for dinner.
Where they're like, every time I have my family over, everybody wants a leg. So I'll just sew some more legs on. That's pretty smart, actually. That's actually genius. Okay. So then that's happening during the credits is we're just like
seeing...
Did the Soska
Sisters write this too?
Yes, they wrote it and directed it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yes. So now we're out of the credits and camera on, somebody's phone alarm going off, and a hand turns the alarm off. And we realized that the alarm was happening while someone was in class, and it's Mary, our girl Mary, who's sitting in a lecture hall, and her alarm went off while her professor was giving a lecture. And he like calls her out and gets like really annoyed. It looks like she was like dozing off almost, and had like kind of like not realized. I don't know. It was unclear because he was like sleeping in class or something. But like I was like, I feel like you just I was confused about that. But anyway, he was annoyed that she disrupted class. And so he tries to like call her out and be like, what is the ratio of iron to oxygen in hemoglobin and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, it's this. And then he's like, well, then what is the this to the this? And she's like, it's this. And he's like, yeah, well, then how about the this to this? And she's like, again, it's this.
That was me in algebra class in high school.
I hate you. Yeah, it totally
Algebra
was.
1 in Philly, my teacher loved me. He called me Burnsy. And
that's what I call you.
I know. Like, we were best friends. And he just loved the shit out of me because I was such a good student. And like, I'd be done a test really quickly and then just be like doodling like, KB loves MK or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And then Algebra 2 was a different teacher, and he was like the coach of the football team or some shit like that. And so it was also like when I moved, so like I don't know, I was just bored, I think, a lot. So I'd like be talking or whatever, and he'd be like, excuse me, do you know the answer? And I'd be like 12, and he'd be like
that was me.
He was like so mad that I was so good, such a good math student.
That was me in not math class ever in any scenario. Even while I was paying rapt attention, that was not me in math class. It was me in English class. It was any English or humanity or class or anything where someone would go, "Are you paying attention?" And I would bullshit some answer and then be right. What am I talking about? Oh, so she was right about everything, and he was annoyed. And then she goes up to him after class and she's like, I'm genuinely sorry. I just didn't get any sleep last night. Like I'm really sorry. And he tells her that she's his most promising student, but he does it in like a really condescending, shitty way. Like it was not the way that your algebra teacher would have scolded you, where it's like, I really believe in you and I like you, but like you can't be falling asleep in class. It was very much like, I get that you're smart, but I'm definitely better than you kind of thing. And he talks about, he's like, surgeons don't get to fuck up. And I was you're not wrong. So now we cut to her out by her car in like an enclosed parking garage. And she's on the phone, like on her cell phone, and she's talking to the cell phone company being like, no, please don't shut off my phone. She's like, I paid $40 like towards the bill, and whoever I paid said that would keep it on for however long. And she's like, and the person on the line is like, well, I don't know who told you that because that's not accurate. As she's arguing about this and being like, I have no money, her teacher that just scolded her like walks up and gets into his car that's like some fucking like big dick convertible and just kind of like gives her a look, and she's super ashamed.
Judging people by penis size again.
I am. He is. Well, don't even get me started on this guy. There's some trigger warnings in this movie, by the way.
For who?
For everyone. There's a lot of different trigger. I'll just say I'll just keep
okay,
going.
Great.
So, okay. She gets embarrassed, and then she's like, he drives off, and she's like, how much money will it take to like make this go away? And she's like, $364.29.
Damn.
And she's like, you haven't paid your bill in 3 months. And she's like,
damn.
Okay, what's the least amount I can put on it so that you won't shut off my phone? And she's like, $364.29.
Ooh.
And then she hangs up. So she's having a tough time. She's still in medical school, obviously. But she's still in medical school, but I think is a doctor. Do you know what I mean? Like she gets to put doctor in front of her name. I'm not really sure how medical school works, but I feel like she was like allowed to put doctor in front of her name, but like was still in school. Maybe a residency situation?
Yeah.
Could be okay, maybe that's what it is. So,
but like, okay.
Yeah.
How do you know she has doctor in front of her name?
We'll get there later. Okay. Yeah. So now she's home and she's talking to her sweet Nana on the phone. And while she's talking to her Nana is just like, oh, be careful. I watched some TV show where some girl was having sex with multiple men and blah, blah. And she's just like, Nana, I don't,
Nana.
like, I'm fine. And like, why are we talking about this? And while she's talking to her Nana, she's looking at gigs on Craigslist. And she finds a job.
Been there.
Yeah. She finds a job where the description is $1,000, no sex. And I was like, if it says no sex, if they have to specify that, it means it's going to be something sexual that I don't want to do probably. But also like she can't pay her bills. So the interview for the job is at a strip club, obviously. And she goes up to a dude who's like dozing in a booth. And he like takes her into the back. And he's got kind of like a Timothy Oliphant hotness about him where it's like a bad boy. And it's like, you are trouble and you are bad for me. Yeah. But do you want to like go fuck in a dirty bathroom real quick? Yeah. That's what he's got going on. This is Billy.
Hello.
Yeah. So she hands him a resume and he's like, I don't know why you think I need this resume that tells me that you're a surgeon and a doctor and are in school a lot, but whatever. So that's where we learn that like she's training to be specifically a surgeon doctor. And she's like, I'm just really broke from school, student loans, not being able to pay for education, don't get us started. And she's like, I need to make money fast. And she's kind of wearing like a black trench coat. And he's like, well, you're not fat under there, are you? And she's like, no, I'm a starving med student, like I said. And so she takes her coat off and she's like ready to dance. Like she's dressed in like a black bustier and like underwear with like the hoozy thingies, the
Right.
Why am I asking you what they are? Garter belt. Yeah.
Yes.
And
ooh, we're switching brains.
oh my God.
What's happening?
What is going on? And so she just takes her trench coat off and she's like, will this do? And he's like, that'll do. Boner to the face. And she's like, rad. And he tells her to walk and she just kind of like clomps around like annoyed. And he's like, you might want to walk a little sexier than that. And she's like, you're the fuck. Like, she is not into this, but she's just like, I can handle it and I need the money. So I'll just get through this, basically. And then he's like, give me a massage. And he's like wearing a leather jacket. And she's like, fine. So she just kind of like starts like rubbing his shoulders. And he's like, under the jacket. I can't even feel it. And like, as this is happening, just like on his shoulders, like he's sitting. As this is happening, some bouncer dude comes in and he's like, pissed. He's like, so-and-so is missing, like whatever. And Billy's like, well, did you call him? He's like, I called him like 50 fucking times. Like, I don't know where he is. And so Billy runs out of the room and Mary is just kind of like left in the back room, just kind of like standing there. All of a sudden, Billy comes running back in and he's like, how good of a surgeon are you? And she's like, I mean, I'm still in school. And he's like, do you want $5,000 cash right now?
Yes.
Kim.
Great. I'm great at it.
What do you do and what does she do?
She does it.
Okay.
Although that I have been really practicing on my turkeys.
Right.
You know what? I don't want to get involved. I'm going to go home.
Correct. Okay. That was the right choice. And that is what she does. So Billy is like, $5,000 cash tonight. No questions asked. Of course, she's like asking questions. And he's like, what part about like no questions asked do you not get? And they're walking, as they're talking, they're like walking down into like a dingy basement. And they go into like the back room of the dingy basement. And there is a dude laying on a table, like sobbing, whimpering, like covered in blood. And there are other bouncers standing around just kind of like looking at him. And Billy just like hands her some tools. Spoiler alert, not surgery tools, but just tools. And I just wrote, this is not a sterile environment at all. And the dude, we got like a camera angle on him. It looks like he was like shot in the eye and or his eye was like gouged out. Ouch. It looked, and he was quite conscious and very upset about it, as I would be as well.
I like my eyes, both of them in place.
As does this gentleman, and he appeared to be sans one of them.
Damn.
Then we just cut to her leaving, walking out stunned from the room where she allegedly just performed the surgery. And like we just see Billy's hand with like a wad of cash, and she just like grabs it as she's walking out. And she performed this in like her black bustier and like heels, and like she didn't even have time to like put her trench coat back on. And she just leaves the club. Cut to her walking into her apartment, and she's like sobbing in the shower. Then we cut to her sitting on a couch holding a bat, staring at the door. Like, I think she's just like, same with what you said. She's like, I just got involved in something, and like, I don't know what I got involved in. So now she's...
Anytime someone's taking you downstairs into a dungeon situation.
Anytime someone hands you tools and says, perform surgery, you may have gotten into something. Yeah. So...
On turkeys?
No, turkey. Nobody has any turkeys that they need to feed more people with.
What? Okay.
So now we cut to her sleeping on the couch, like cuddling the bat, and the phone rings.
That's how I sleep.
Cuddling a bat. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she picks it up, and we hear, "Is this Dr. Mason?" And she gets freaked out and hangs up the phone. Calls again, and it's from an unknown number. And she says hello again. And the voice says, "Is this Dr. Mason? I'm Beatrice." And she's like, I don't know a Beatrice, and there's no Dr. Mary. And she said, I didn't say Dr. Mary. I said Dr. Mason. And she hangs up again. It rings again.
Weird.
This time she looks at it and she sees it says like whatever Dave restaurant or something. And it's a guy calling, and we learn that like she was picking up some shifts at a restaurant. Okay. And the guy on the phone is like, no shifts until further notice. And she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, I don't really know what's happening. I guess the owners didn't pay the rent. So like there is no restaurant right now. And she's like,
God damn it.
So by the way, it is so fucked up that a medical student trying to learn how to perform surgery would have to pick up shifts at a fucking restaurant to pay. I'm so angry. I'm like, I want my surgeons to like only be studying surgery. I don't want them to also have to like learn the menu at the Italian restaurant down the street to pay for food for themselves. Just feed them and have them learn surgery, please. So cut to her drinking wine in her kitchen in black rubber gloves and crying over a turkey that she's going to do some fun surgery on. Clearly she does this to like kind of just decompress. And she's just like crying over it. And like, then the door buzzes. The intercom, she like pushes it. Hello, intercom. And a voice says, I need you to sign for a package.
Beatrice.
I'm like,
how do you know where I
voice
live?
is familiar. And so she opens the door, or she's like, she doesn't recognize the voice because she's like, yeah, fine, I'll sign for it. Come up. So then she gets a knock on the door. She opens it and no one is there. So she like walks into the bathroom to like take her gloves off real quick, like basically to be like, I need to like investigate what is happening. As she's doing that, we see someone come in behind her and like walk into her apartment. Mary comes out of the bathroom and sees that like the door is fully ajar. So she grabs the bat and turns around, and there is Betty Boop.
The cartoon character?
A human replica of Betty Boop. It is a woman who has had so much plastic surgery with the goal of looking like the cartoon character Betty Boop.
Whoa.
And it was hard to look at. It was upsetting. And she talks like this, like Betty Boop. And she's like, I'm so sorry to have busted in, but you wouldn't take my calls. And basically the woman is like, I have the ability to look however I want, but I have a friend who can't. She's like, I want to pay you $10,000 cash to operate because no one else will. Just a bit of skin removal. And she's like, my niece works at a vet office. We can use operating room after hours. Mary's like, shit. How? There are so many hows, one of which is, how do you know where I live? And she's like, I just got it off your resume that you left at the club where I dance. And she's like, cool, great. And she's like, I mean, I don't have an insurance package for your friend. And she's like, and I definitely would not be able to guarantee the desired effect. So I guess I can't. Sorry. And she's like, but you helped so-and-so last night. And she's like, I'm never, ever doing what I did last night ever again. Betty Boop then says, I'll give you $2,000 just to show up. Kim,
What?
what do you do? What does Mary do?
She shows the fuck up.
Okay. Really think about this. I mean, this is this money is hard, and I want it, and we also need it, and this was hard to decipher. I had a lot of feelings about this movie.
I want money, but I believe I can make it. I believe it will come to me in ways that aren't going to be hurtful to me. But I bet if someone, but no.
Take us through your thoughts.
Because I was like, oh, I bet if someone was, I bet like, oh, I could just show up though and get $2,000. But I was like, if I'm showing up with these shady motherfuckers, they're not letting me leave without doing it. Like, I don't believe that. No. Nope. You're not
going to go?
No, because if something goes wrong or at the end of the day, like this is my entire life for what? A couple grand? Fuck that.
Agreed. So Mary takes a big swig of wine and says, what's the address? And I mean, definitely what got her was like, you get $2,000 just to show up and like look at her and see if you can do it kind of thing. And to be fair, Betty Boop has a really nice energy. For sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like in terms of like intuition, obviously you can't always completely know what someone's intentions are, but like she actually seems like a really sweet soul. But she's still, but you don't know who she's involved with. Exactly.
Like the way she knows about me is from the thing that happened last night.
Exactly. So. Yeah. So now we cut to Mary taking a phone call. It's her asshole professor, Dr. Grant. And he's pissed that she missed class. And she kind of like tries to make an excuse. And he's like, if you don't stop fucking up, you can find another class to not attend. And so now we cut to Mary showing up at the vet's office after hours. Betty Boop is there, and Betty Boop's niece is there, who's the worst. And the niece is like not thrilled, obviously, because she's like, I'm the assistant at a vet's office, and I just like she's not thrilled about it. And Betty says that she just doesn't want her friend to suffer anymore. And the niece is like, yeah, she's really suffering. And Betty is like, don't be a cunt. Sorry about that. She's at an age where if she isn't high all the time, she's just a little bitch to everyone.
That's the best way to call someone a bitch.
I know. I love it. Yeah. So
it's like the sweetest, cutest little high-pitched way.
Stop being such a cunt.
You're such a fucking cunt.
I had someone on Twitter tell me that my impressions are getting really good. And I was like, thank you.
They're not wrong.
They are very specific as to what I can do. I don't have a large repertoire.
But it's growing. Yeah. I only have one thing I can do.
Chainsaw sounds. But you know what? Guess who can't do chainsaw sounds?
Right,
me.
Right.
So together, we have a very strange repertoire.
We can do some things.
Some things. Yep. So
we should do that at our live show.
We should.
You're like, here's our impression set.
Oh my God.
You do Red and a bunch of other people, and then I'm just like,
oh my God. Yours has to be the grand finale though. Because yours is so good.
It's pressure.
It's so good. God. Yeah. So, okay. So stupid. It's so good. It's so good. It continues to impress me. Like, I want Sammy's to know, like, I was genuinely impressed. Like, I genuinely feel like it's really good.
Thank you so much.
It's just, I've never heard anyone be able to do it before.
Put it on your resume.
It's so good. If you guys want to hear the first ever time that Kim did her chainsaw sound impression, please go listen to Evil Dead.
Yeah.
It was the first time that it was brought into the world. And I'm so glad that
Ketryn will never forget it.
No, and I'm so glad that it's recorded for posterity and for all eternity.
She just has it on repeat listen to go to sleep.
God, it's just so impressive. So, okay. So Mary is still like really skeptical, obviously, because the person on whom she's performing the surgery is not in the room.
Right.
This is where I learn that Betty is like, so that's $10,000 for the surgery, and here's your $2,000 for showing up. So it wasn't, the $2,000 wasn't like you'll get to, she's getting $12,000 to do this. So niece is all feisty, whatever, again, and Betty keeps telling her shut up, and then Betty is like, basically Mary is like, what does who is it and what do they want me to do? And Betty's like, I think she should explain herself. So she like goes into like kind of a curtained off back part of the vet.
Mm-hmm.
And standing there is a doll. It is a woman who is a doll. And we learn that she doesn't dance with Beatrice. She's actually...
Oh, but she's a woman and she's a person.
Yes.
I thought it literally was a doll.
No.
But like, like she's like, this is my friend.
But, oh yeah, that with them we have a whole
like
other movie. Yeah.
I was like...
And she's like, I mean, go get me some Play-Doh. I'll perform whatever surgery you want. Play-Doh's not really sticky. That wouldn't be a good way to do surgery on a doll. But, okay. So she's like, I don't know Beatrice from dancing. I'm a fashion designer. And like money is not an issue. It's that no one will do what I want them to do on me. And Mary is like, what do you want me to do? You already look
like a crazy
like
person.
You had some work done. And doll lady, her name's Ruby, is basically like, dolls can't be sexualized or feel shy. And they can be naked sort of neutrally. And I was sort of like, this logic doesn't compute with me because I'm like, there are sex dolls. But I think what she's talking about is like
dolls.
A Barbie. Like where it's like
neutral for sure.
Yeah. But it was just like,
well, their bottom parts are neutral.
So are their top parts. They don't have any nipples.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So basically what she says is she's like, that's what I want. Like she doesn't want to be sexualized. She wants to be neutral, like sad. A doll.
Yeah.
And so she says, I want you to take these off, remove her nipples, and I want you to sew this up, and gestures to her vagina as much as possible. Yeah.
I can see why no one's done this.
They don't want to do this.
That makes me sad. Can I make a different recommendation besides
sure.
surgery?
What is it?
It's called hashtag therapy.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This touches on some really interesting, because what she says is, I don't think it's fair that God gets to decide what we look like on the outside. So like, it does play into, because we're going to get into it a little bit more, of like people who are like, I genuinely feel like my arm shouldn't be here. And it's like, body dysmorphia is so tricky because it's like, is it body dysmorphia that someone could be counseled out of, or is it someone who is in the wrong body and is just trying to make their body look like what it feels like?
It's hard to say.
It's
I'm
really
reading
hard.
into this as less body dysmorphia and more probably trauma.
And I think we can.
I would assume.
Yeah. But I mean, this movie brought up some really interesting conversations for sure.
Yeah.
Later on, there's like more evidence that we could probably say Ruby was dealing with some other things that could have been solved with therapy, and then who knows if she would have made this same choice. But anyway, so Mary is just like staring at her as she's explaining all this, and then she just goes, "Can you excuse me for a minute?" And goes back out to Beatrice and shitty niece Kim. What do you do, and what does Mary do?
Fuck, dude, I'm not even here. We already discussed that I can't let this ruin my life.
Betty Boop brought you back.
I am so sorry, Miss Ruby, but I can't do it. I cannot fucking do it. I can't do it. Fuck. Fuck.
It's, I mean,
I guess she does it. Oh God.
You would be looking at a perfect score if
fuck off
you weren't inexplicably terrible at the Dead or Alives.
God, you're such a cunt.
That was good. Mary goes out to Beatrice, Betty Boop, and shitty niece, and she's like, is this really what she wants? So she's like asking Beatrice now, like, level with me.
Right.
Is your friend nuts? And Betty says she's worked her whole life for this. This is what she wants. This is what she wants. Cut to Mary in the operating room.
Whoa.
Classical music playing, similar to the turkey suture music. And she's administering anesthesia. And we see her drawing like the little lines around the nipple. And with my nipple fear, this was hard to watch. I have a lot of nipple sensitivity and fear. And I would prefer if they were left alone or caressed gently. And then my nipples are like a skittish cat, I will say. They really like, you know, I like a little bit of petting, but then I need you to stop right when I need you to stop. And I
don't need to know anymore. No one needs to know any of this besides your husband. Please stop telling us.
Please do not make me feel ashamed of my nipple cats. That makes me feel insecure, and I want to speak my truth. Anyway, it was hard to watch because
of your nipple cats.
Of my nipple cats. So we see that Ruby has other scars. So like she's just kind of looking at like her whole body and like all of the different things that she's had done. And some of the scars like don't look very good. You know, like the under boob scars you're not really supposed to see and they're pretty visible. Then we have her cutting out the nipple and then sewing it closed. And then we see Mary with her back to us. And we just see Ruby's legs draped over the end of the table, like, and Mary working on her vulva. And we just see flaps of skin being thrown to the ground. Because what she also said was like, sew it up as much as you can, and also like remove some of the external bits. So she like doesn't want any labia or anything. God. Yeah.
So she needs to be able to like pee.
Of course. Yeah.
Wow.
So then we cut to,
I don't know if I feel the hurts that you talk about, but I don't like it.
I don't
like the thoughts of it.
And we have so much more to go. So she's bandaging her up, and you can tell I was very impressed with Katherine Isabel's performance because her hands were very it was her hands and face in the shot where it's like it wasn't like a hand double doing it. Right. She was very gentle and meticulous in a way that I was like, I'm not a surgeon, but close enough, and I approve of this. So
I'm sure she just watched enough Grey's Anatomy
to
figure it out.
Yeah. So then we cut to her like leaving the back room, and she hands Betty Boop a bag of rags and skin, basically, because it's like obviously they have to like dispose of it. They can't just like put it in the trash can.
Oh, what do you do with a bag of rags and skin?
I don't know.
Where do I put my bag of rags and skin? I don't know. That's my biggest issue at this moment.
Excuse me. Do you have a place for me to put my bags of rag and skin?
Like,
do you have a coat rack, perhaps, but a bag of rag and skin place closet?
Yeah. Like I don't know. What would you do? That seems like the hardest question. Wow, it's gonna smell so bad.
Yeah, it's not. I don't. Yeah, I actually threw away my candle scented of bag of rag and skin because I just didn't like the smell. So it was not good.
Should that be our new merch?
Yeah, candle scent bag of rag and skin. So fucking Mary leaves, and she tells Betty, she's like, don't call me, don't talk to me, don't tell any of your friends about me. Yes, I'm done with this. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm taking my $12,000 and leaving. So
she's at what now, like 17 grand?
Yeah. So that's a hefty amount. So, but she's probably $189,000 in debt. So basically it's like a drop in the rags and bag bucket.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a flap of skin in the bucket. So she gets home and barfs everywhere.
Rightfully so.
Cut to her doing makeup.
I'm barfing right now.
Yeah, me too.
In my mouth.
Barfing all over the place. So cut to her doing
my vulva.
Because all your other holes are sewn up. God. Okay. I'm sorry. Just I had so many awful images going through my brain that it short-circuited. And I need to get back online.
Okay.
If you could just give me a moment.
Grab your nipple cats and get back together.
My nipple cats. Be careful with my nipple cats. Okay. So she's doing her makeup. And there's a voiceover of her as she's doing her makeup explaining what you would do for a post-op. Like, please make sure to keep the wound clean. We will be sure to refer you to someone who can give you prescription, blah, 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 blah. Just speaking in a very doctorly tone.
Like practicing.
Yep. And then we cut to her in her residency, and we realize that is what she was reciting to another teacher doctor. She's doing a residency now, so she's in a hospital, as like a quiz where the doctor was like, what would you say to this patient? And there's other students like behind her. So we learned that this doctor is Dr. Walsh. And as they're talking, a surgeon in a mask comes out and whispers something to Dr. Walsh. And Dr. Walsh then says, Ms. Mason, go tell the family behind me that their husband has had a heart attack. Mary just kind of like stone-faced blinks, walks in, and we don't hear what she says. We just see it happening through the window of the door that Dr. Walsh is standing in front of. Dr. Walsh continues to speak to the other students there, and we just see Mary very sort of quickly and stoically say something to the family and then walk back out and take her place in front of the group of students again. And Dr. Walsh says, how did that go? And she says, they were upset. And Dr. Walsh says, understandably so. Now, go tell them that he died. So she just kind of blinks, walks in, and as we see Mary telling the family this, it's a wife and 2 children, the doctor is just saying, hone this skill. It's important that a doctor has a confident, empathetic bedside manner, but mostly just kind of blah, 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 blah. Mary then comes back out, takes her place in front of the group. We see the wife is now sobbing behind them. And Dr. Walsh just says, okay, off to do our rounds. So it's like just no fucking emotion. And I was like, you're teaching bedside manner wrong.
Right.
You have none of it at all. So now we're walking with Dr. Walsh. And he says to Mary, I'm very impressed with you. You're going to make a great slasher. And she's like, a what? And he's like, that's surgeon humor. And I'm like, good one. And he's like, it's important to have a good sense of humor as a surgeon. And nothing beats the rush of cutting into a human. Am I right? And she's like, yeah. Why did I even try? So embarrassing. I'm so sorry. God, it was really embarrassing. Sammy, I'm so sorry.
Do that again.
I won't. So
look, you've got your talents. I've got my one.
Agreed. Yeah. So she's humoring him. She definitely wants his approval, clearly, but she's like, I don't find you funny and you're weird kind of thing. So now we cut to her standing out by her car, or like about to get into her car. It's their break. So she's wearing... Kim is laughing, and I saw it. I just saw her eyes watering, trying to hold in a laugh. And then she couldn't hold it anymore.
I was trying to hide my face with the mic cover.
What? Are you still laughing about chainsaw noises?
Yeah,
I thought so.
I keep replaying yours in my head.
And how bad it was.
Sorry.
It's going to be really hard to listen back to that.
That's what I was thinking of. I was like, that's recorded forever.
Oh man. Okay.
Gotta get it together. All right. God. What's happening? Cutting people open.
So now she's out by her car, yeah. And she's got like her black trench coat on.
Out of car.
Yeah. And she's clearly going to go somewhere for a break. Betty Boop is there.
Oh, no.
And she's holding a gift box. And Mary is like...
Is it rags and skin?
It's rags and skin. Mary's like, hello? And Betty Boop is like, will you tell me not to call? And she's like showing up as significantly
you didn't understand
worse.
what I meant.
No. And Betty is like, she's really sweet. She's like, I'd like to be friends if you ever want to get coffee sometime.
Sweet little bunny.
And Mary is like, yeah, I'll keep that in mind. She's like, I don't want to be friends with this person. Then something catches Betty's eye behind Mary. And we see that Dr. Grant is like standing there watching her talk to someone, basically being like, break's over. And I'm like, she just fucking got
Grant
here.
is the dickhead teacher one?
Yes. Yeah. So Dr. Walsh is the no bedside manner, taking her on rounds teacher. Dr. Grant is lecture teacher who's an asshole. So she goes back in, but like she takes the gift and she's like, Ruby didn't have to do that. Oh, it was from Ruby. She's like, she didn't have to do that. Thank you very much. Whatever. And like puts it into the passenger seat of her car and walks back in. So now we cut to Dr. Walsh and Dr. Grant talking to each other on opposite sides of a hallway. And so like Mary, when she comes in after having put her like doctor coat back on, has to kind of like scoot past them. And as she walks past them, we see them kind of exchange a look. And the look is the look we've seen two guys give where it's like, she's hot, but like only using their eyeballs. And I'm like, ugh, gross. So Walsh follows behind her and makes a dumb joke about coffee. And she tries to humor him. And he's like, how was your break? And she's like, fine, you know. And he's like, I want to talk to you without the other surgeons around. And she's like, okay. And he's like, some surgeons are getting together for I want to talk to you without the other students around, I think is what he said. Some of the surgeons are getting together for drinks. We'd love for you to come. It's at Dr. Grant's house. And Mary is super flattered. And she's like, I mean, does Dr. Grant know that you invited me? Basically, like, he doesn't like me very much.
Yeah.
And Dr. Walsh was like, it was his idea. And she's like, I mean, thank you. That's amazing. Like, it's a networking thing, you know? Like, she's like, this is a great opportunity for me. Thank you so much. And he's like, see you at 10. So cut to her getting all dolled up. And before she leaves, we see that she did end up looking. Oh, because Betty Boop had been like, you should look at Ruby's site. Like, you know, she's healing really well. And she took pictures of what you did. And so we see that she's looking at Ruby's site and she kind of like sees her nippleless boobs and like they look fucking great. She like great in quotes, meaning like they look like what she wanted them to look like. And we see that she's actually like pretty impressed with her own
like her
work.
surgery work.
Yeah. And, you know, she's like, I'm a great denippler. This is, you know, and then she clicks on like another part of the site and like some heavy metal music comes on and it's like all black and like music. And this is a site for body modification. It's called abstract.com, but abstract spelled with a K instead of a C. And it's a whole bunch of people that have modified their bodies in different ways. Not like breast implants or lip injections. Like, you know, I don't know, putting horns into their forehead or something. And it freaks her out and she like shuts the computer real quick. But we see that she's wearing like this really pretty green dress. And cut to her heading up in an elevator in the really pretty green dress. And she walks into the party and the door is answered by this like dude who just like seems like he's on like coke, just that energy where it's just like, why are you coming at me with this energy? And he's just like, you must be Mary Mason. And she's like, yeah, I am. Your energy is coming at me. And he like walks her in and he kind of has his hand like on the small of her back in the way that I was like, this is girls know this, like it's in kind of like a a lecherous kind of way. It's like, you don't know me and I don't need to be like guided as I walk.
Yeah, you don't need to touch me.
You don't need to touch me. And that's where he has his hand and he's like, let me get you a drink. And so he walks off and she just kind of is like standing there sort of awkwardly because she doesn't know anyone. And we don't see any other girls there. We just see a bunch of like dude surgeons.
Weird.
And weird door dude comes back up and she's like, what did you say your name was? And he says, have a drink. Kim, what do you do? What does Mary do? So he's handed you a drink.
Right. I don't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that there's no other women here. That really makes me feel uncomfortable.
Or like we might have walked past some, but like it's definitely not. There's a weird vibe at this party. Mm-hmm. It feels weird.
Let's see. What does she do? I think she definitely, keeps trying to talk to him and like probably looks for the doctors that she knows.
Okay.
Whatever the fuck their names are. Mm-hmm. Preferably the one that doesn't live there. Mm-hmm. The other one.
Yeah.
I think I'll do the same. Look for Dr. Walshy Poo.
What do you do with the drink?
I'm not drinking that drink.
Okay.
100%. I don't fucking want this guy's Coke drink.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck's in here.
What does Mary do?
I only know her surgery styles. I don't know her drinking style. But she did drink. I think she's gonna drink out of like, okay, thanks, like awkwardness and being like gulp gulp.
So far, still a perfect score, except for your dead or alive, obviously.
Fuck off.
Did you say puck off?
Puck off. I did.
Puck
I
off.
did say puck off.
Puck off. So they cheers, and she drinks, and she's still trying to make small talk, and she's like, "Are you a surgeon?" And he's like, "I'm a fucking motherfucker." She's
Cool.
like, I mean, that was basically her reaction. Gives a creepy laugh. And then he's like, I cut people up for a living. Okay. Another creepy laugh. Right. At this point, Dr. Walsh walks up. And door dude is like, don't worry, I'm done, Walsh. And I'm like, I'm done. What are you talking about?
I don't like these.
So we learn her dress was the gift from Ruby.
Oh.
And it's this beautiful, like, emerald green, very slinky, silky dress with a very, very low cut, like a triangle low cut. Mm-hmm. And Walsh is talking to her and he's like, welcome to the party. And he's like, some people are out here using the common area as a lounge. I don't know what they're doing. Everyone else is in one of the rooms. And I was like, what is this party? What is happening? So Walsh walks away. Creepy dude like cheerses her again, like from the bar.
Bro, get off my dick.
Yeah. And so she takes another drink and then she like chugs her drink like nervously.
Right.
Like she's just like, blah. So at this point, Dr. fucking Grant walks up and is like, I hope you got all your homework done. And she's like, And so they cheers now. And he basically is like, don't fuck up. And she's like, I don't intend to. I've been working really hard. Then he basically says, in not so many words, if you're a perfect surgeon who doesn't fuck up at work, then everything else you do is forgivable. Is what he says. Yes. So it's just like a really nihilistic, like everyone is out for themselves speech that he's giving her that sorry, Sammy's Kim had to take a really loud sip of one of her 19 drinks.
You couldn't hear it.
I could hear it.
Last time you talked about this, you're like, that waterfall you hear. I was like, I don't hear anything. There's no sound.
Anyway, so
I need to stay hydrated.
So just like a really, everybody's out. It's a dog-eat-dog world kind of fucking mansplaining speech, whatever. At this point, Dr. Walsh walks up again and basically like takes her nearly finished drink out of her hand and hands her another full one. And then walks away. Kim, what do you do? What does Mary do?
Oh my God. I'm not drinking any of the drinks here.
Okay.
I got creep vibes and I don't trust them.
Yeah.
It's never good to drink a drink that you haven't seen made from like
a stranger.
You don't know. Yeah. Never a good idea. Survival guide. Don't do that.
Don't do that, you guys. I know that it's like just and like come up with something that you say, like if someone's like, can I make you a drink? And like you just don't really know the person, just say like, no, I'll come with you. I'm not really sure what I want yet. You know, like just
let me see what you got.
Yeah. It's like just assume. I honestly assume that people are going to roofie you and act accordingly, because otherwise you just don't fucking know.
You don't need to assume that, but
you know what I mean.
Be careful.
You know what I mean. It's like just make your own fucking drink.
Yeah.
You know, don't drink out of it. I mean, it goes both ways. Look at the fucking Love Witch who kept having people drink wine out of carafes and flasks and shit like that. Yeah. And she had some fucking Love Witch potions in there.
Yeah.
And now they're all dead.
You don't know what kind of tampon they're putting in your drink.
Right. Exactly. Look out for tampon drinks.
I mean, what am I even getting out of being here? Like, I talked to the people. I might go home. Like, I made an appearance.
Okay.
I talked to the people.
Okay. What does she
like,
do?
it's not like this motherfucker is giving me a better grade on my fucking class because I hang out more.
Yeah, he fucking hates
like,
you.
We had our conversation. Goodbye.
Yeah. Irish goodbye, as we call it.
She, again, drinks more because she's uncomfortable and stays, for sure.
So they're talking. She takes a sip or two of this new drink. And she is trying to make conversation with Dr. Grant and says that, like, Dr. Walsh is weird. And Dr. Grant is like, yeah, and in his spare time, he likes to paint people being eaten by bears.
The fuck?
And that's what Mary said. And he's like, yeah, fucking weird. Like, I'm just like, who are surgeons?
Fuck are these people?
Who is performing my surgeries?
What the fuck's
like,
happening?
What is going on? So then we see her POV.
Because I never really thought about that. Like, the kind of person you
that
need to be to, like, like, get to the point of being a surgeon. Like, you have to fucking kill it. Like, you have to be top of your game.
So, because otherwise you will kill it. People.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then the desire to
cut into human skin.
Into a person.
I mean,
I'm
not saying like all surgeons are fucking masochistic, sadistic fucks.
No, I'm not saying that at all. It's just like a general question. Like, I never even considered, like, oh, like, even if you're not masochistic or anything or whatever, like, just the actual doing of it. I don't know, it's interesting.
It's there's definitely a very specific type of brain that could do what these people have to do.
Right.
Even to, like, in school, all like,
right, just to, like, get to that level and the pressure and everything.
And I'm sure that there is some crossover of people that have a very specific brain that also doesn't serve them in normal society sometimes.
Like psychopaths.
Yeah. So then we see her POV of Dr. Grant talking, and her vision is getting blurry.
No. What the motherfuckers?
Yeah. He's yammering on and on and on, and her vision is bad. And he says, you seem to be doing better financially. New clothes, new stethoscope, Never thought I'd see you at one of these. And she's just like, I don't feel good. And she's like kind of having trouble standing up. And he offers to have her lie down somewhere. And he's kind of like walking her to the back part of the apartment. Mm-hmm. And she is out of it because she can like barely stand, and we can see that she's like not taking in her surroundings, because as they're walking back to the back part of the room, they walk past like a bar, and there's a woman laying on the bar, and there are 3 dudes just like jerking off on her.
Oh my God.
And Mary can barely stand. Grant leads her into the bedroom and pushes her onto the bed. She's laying, you know, perpendicular to the head of the bed, and her head is kind of like off the back of it. And he grabs a camera and pins her down, and she obviously can't do anything. This seemed like a little bit different than a roofie, in the sense that I guess I don't fully know. She was conscious, but seemed like she couldn't do anything. Like it didn't seem like the roofie like made her like pass out, if that makes sense. But then also, I guess like
roofie is. It like makes you. It's like you're blackout drunk.
You're blackout. Okay, but like you're not like unconscious.
Not necessarily.
Okay, so then yeah, probably a roofie. And he's filming the whole thing, and he kind of like starts like choking her and like putting his hands in her mouth and filming the whole thing. And
this is very upsetting.
Yeah. And then he rapes her. And it's like, I've never watched a rape scene that was as upsetting as this one. This was just very realistic. It was a bummer. Really upsetting rape scene.
I mean, aren't they all?
Yeah. There was just the way that it was shot. It was like, I didn't feel like I was watching a movie with a rape in it. I felt like I was watching a rape, and that was upsetting.
Revenge.
Yeah. I totally thought of you having watched that I was like, this feels like that. So then we cut to daybreak. And she's in the same room, in the same dress. And she's kind of waking up in bed and looking around, doesn't really know where she is. And we see that he's fucking like asleep next to her. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm just like, the shamelessness, like it goes beyond raping someone in that you felt comfortable enough to like sleep next to her. Like it was just like,
no fucks,
yeah, it just like went to like a whole other level. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really, really disgusting.
Yeah. So she's trying to get up, and she's clearly like in pain and just like softly crying. Cut to her stone-faced, heading back down the elevator, you know, makeup down her face and stuff. Cut to her walking into her apartment. The music has now, previously the music has either been just whatever the music is for the scene, or the classical music that she plays when she's doing surgery. The music has now changed to, I'm going to fuck shit up in a really fucked up way. She now tips over her table of textbooks. Kim, what do you do, and what does Mary decide to do?
I don't even like know where we are.
She's in her apartment now, so she's come home.
Like in life, right now, in this moment,
whatever
like, I don't
you
understand the question.
Whatever you want. It can be down the line. It can be a decision she makes right now. It can be what she does immediately.
She's gonna kill him.
What do you do?
Fuck my life. I'm going to go to the police.
Okay.
And it's going to be traumatic and horrible.
Yep.
And I'm going to do it and get him arrested and put in jail.
Yep.
Because he deserves to go there. Motherfucker.
That's 1.5 points. Unfortunately, you won't know why it's a half point until much, much later. Cut to her putting on lipstick in her dingy bathroom mirror again. and she paints a black beauty mark on her face with eyeliner. And she's wearing like kind of like a leathery type of mini dress, black mini dress. And she's got her black rubber gloves. And she comes out of the bathroom. Billy from the club and the bouncer, Lance, are in her apartment. And they say to her, just call us when you're done and we'll come pick him up. And she says, oh, I won't be done until tomorrow night. Billy and the bouncer leave. She then pours herself a glass of wine, turns on some sexy music. She walks a little further into her apartment, and we see that she's set up an entire operating room. And someone is strapped to the table. It's Dr. Grant.
Oh, shit.
And he's got this contraption in his face that like keeps his eyes and mouth open. And he's duct taped to the table. And she just walks over and she says, I quit med school today. I'm guessing you thought I went into prostitution and that's why you invited me to that party last night. I didn't. And she's numbing his face with needles and he's just crying and whimpering. And she calmly says, please hold still. She says, I'm changing specialties. Have you ever heard of body modification? Me neither. You know how you're always telling me surgeons can't make any mistakes? Well, I've come up with a list of the most popular procedures that I'm going to practice on you tonight.
Yes, I love this.
She says, there's...
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah. She says there's tongue splitting, and he makes like a whimper noise, and she goes, I know. There's implants, teeth filing, genital modification, voluntary amputation, and I want to get it all done tonight. We have about 14 hours of surgery ahead of us, so I want to make sure we get it all done in one session. Then we see her pull his tongue out of his mouth, and the camera pans over to ancient pictures of surgery and how they like drawings of people like, you know, chiseling into people's femurs and shit like that. And we just hear screaming.
Fuck yeah. Good.
But I'm fine with this. Yep.
I'm in.
I'm totally fine with what's happening. Cut to close up of a split tongue grabbing a popsicle stick. If you can picture it, okay? And pans out, and it's Mary in a body modification shop. And the chick's tongue who's split she's like testing it. She's like, it looks like it's healing really nicely. And the chick, she's got like a mohawk, a bunch of tattoos. And Mary says, you know, how do you like it? And she's like, I fucking love it. She's like, come back any other time you want to express yourself. So there's another dude in the waiting room. And he's looking at like a lookbook, and he comments on her lookbook, and he's like, wow, genital modification. He's like, the dude must have been really hardcore. And she's like, yep, pretty hardcore. And she's like, so what can I do for you today? You know, it's not just what's in the lookbook. I can do lots of things. And he says, yeah, I was thinking of getting some piercings. And she's like, do I look like I do fucking piercings? Get the fuck out of here, Lance. And she calls Lance. Big bouncer dude comes in, puts a bag over the kid's head, and like drags him out.
Oh my God.
Cut to her outside, about to get into her car. I don't know, whatever. And a dude drives up in a black car. It's a detective. And he comes up and he's asking her about Dr. Grant. And she's a phenomenal actor. She is just like, I haven't seen him since I quit med school. And the detective is like, well, we got your name because it appears he wasn't what he seemed. He was a sexual deviant. And she just goes, oh my gosh, I never would have guessed that. And she says, and the detective says, well, Dr. Walsh gave us your name on a list of people who may have had something against him.
Oh, shit.
And she says, oh my God, I can't imagine why. And the detective is like, well, why do you think you were on that list? She goes, I mean, I guess he was a pretty tough instructor and people could have thought he picked on me, but other than that, I don't really know. I don't really know him. And he says, okay, well, call us if you think of something. And she just goes, thanks, with a big smile. He gets into the car and her face turns back to stone. Whew. And then the bouncer, Lance, walks up and smiles and he just goes, titties and shrimp? Meaning like, let's go to the titty bar. Yeah. And so now we cut to Billy in the club and he's screaming drunk, like just like, and someone hands him a basket of shrimp. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to go ahead and eat shrimp at a strip club. I feel like if I'm going to eat shrimp, I want it to be like an expert shrimp maker doing it. Who am I to judge? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing out on the best shrimp I've ever had.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe that's where the expert shrimp.
That's true.
Let's go.
Who am I to say? Who am I to say? Let's get some titty shrimp. So
also, I'm sure there was a time and place where you would absolutely eat some titty shrimp.
You're right.
Like,
no, you're completely
the amount
right.
that we've basically done that.
No, you're totally right.
It's not exactly that, but
who am I?
We've basically done that.
Who am I kidding? I was once a titty shrimp connoisseur.
Exactly.
So then we see Billy watching someone on stage dancing, and it kind of looks like Betty Boop, and then it slow-mo pans in. It's Mary.
What?
Dancing. And Billy is into it. And she's like dancing and like looking right at him. It's all in slow-mo. It's like pretty fucking hot. And then she picks up a customer's beer and dumps it all over herself. But when she dumps it all over herself, we see that it's actually blood. And she's like rubbing it all over herself. And then we hear, how's the shrimp? Billy snaps out of it. He was imagining it. It was Betty Boop the whole time. Mary is right there. And she says, yeah, I'm here to have coffee with Betty Boop. She won't stop bugging me about it. So I'm going to like go have coffee with her. And she says to Billy, she's like, do you have any jobs for me? And he's like, no, I don't. She's like, why not? And he's like, I don't know. I guess people don't make me as mad as, I don't know. And she's like, well, people still make me mad. And I'm like, so now she's like getting a Jones for like doing this. And Mary tells him, she's like, a detective visited me today. And she's like, I don't know what Dr. Walsh knows because I was blacked out. So like, I don't know if he knows that Dr. Grant raped me. And Billy offers to take care of him. Kim, what do you do? What does Mary do?
To take care of Dr. Walsh.
But obviously take care of him is in quotation marks.
Thank you for explaining that.
I didn't do the quotation marks. I want to make sure it was clear. He didn't mean like bring him some soup.
I'll take care of him. I'll bring him some titty shrimp. Yeah. He'll be good.
That takes care of everybody.
I have got... Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here are my thoughts.
Let's hear it.
I was going to say my revenge hath been had. But then I recalled that Dr. fucking Walsh is the one who invited me to the fucking party and gave me my second fucking drink.
Right.
Therefore, I think I say fuck yes, and so does she. And I don't even care if that keeps me fucking alive or not, because fuck that motherfucker hand in hand.
Maybe it'll keep you alive. I'll give you a point. That's not what she does. She says kind of like, I'll just slow your roll. I'll let you know kind of thing.
Good for her.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, I'm going to head out with Betty Boop. Now we cut to Betty and Mary walking down the street with coffee. And Betty is like, I'm taking you somewhere you'll really get a kick out of. And Mary's like, I don't really want to be taken somewhere that I will get a kick out of. Like, I just want to keep things non-kicking. I want to be chill. And they walk into Ruby's apartment. Ruby is not there, but Betty Boop says, she had something she wanted me to give you. Oh, I don't know where she is. She gets bored easily. Like, meaning she just kind of like ups and leaves. And Mary is kind of just like looking around her apartment, and she sees various pics of Ruby and different dudes. And Mary takes like one picture off of like a mirror and like looks at it. And she's like, I didn't know Ruby had a boyfriend. Betty's like, she has lots of boyfriends. Then she's like, oh, I found what I was looking for. And it's like a card with like information written on it. And she says abstract.com, which is like that body modification site, wants Mary to work on someone. And basically like Mary, like Dr. Mary is like gaining notoriety, even though like people don't know who she is. She's doing all these cool things. And Betty Boop is like, they're in town for 1 week. I'm sure Billy will let you use his office to meet with them. Cut to the Soska sisters. Walking into the club, getting out of the car, walking into a club. And they basically are like, are sewn up their backs. Like it looks like they've turned their backs into a corset. Like there's rings going up their back that are then corseted together with ribbon. But like there's
like no back to back?
Their back, like their skin, their back.
Their backs are connected. Back to back.
No, each of them has like a skin corset.
Their back. Yeah. I thought they were like together.
No, they're not together.
Like, that seems complicated for walking.
Yeah. That would be difficult. No, they each have their own
corsets up their own back.
Yeah, they each have their own skin corset backs.
Got it.
And as they walk in, one of the sisters like calls the dancer that's dancing over. Like is like, this is all done just like silently, calls her over. It's a dancer with like a mohawk, which I thought was cool. I was like, what an alternative dancer. That's neat. Calls her over. Soska sister starts making out with her. Like just like fucking making out. And then all of a sudden the dancer starts screaming. And Soska sister just throws her a wad of cash. And we see that she like bit the dancer's tongue and just like threw her a bunch of cash. Then they walk into the back and we cut to Mary talking to the sisters. And they have this like really thick German accent. And they tell her, you're like really fucking famous. They call you Bloody Mary.
Ooh, good name.
Yeah. And they tell her that they want to be more connected than sisters. And they use the example of like, should something happen to one of us, then that body dies completely with them. So they're like, we want you to switch each of our left arms. You give me her left arm, I give her my left arm.
Mm-hmm.
And Mary's like, no problem. And they're like, and one more thing. And they show her a picture, like a blueprint, basically. We want you to do this so that we feel more ourselves. More connected to each other and more connected to ourselves is what they said. And they're like, money is no issue. Kim, looking at this picture, which we haven't seen, but she definitely like looks at it and there's like a face of just like, what the fuckity fuck? What do you do? What does Mary do?
Let's see. I think she does it.
Okay.
And I think that I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I think I got to figure it out though. And I don't think this is the route. I think I'm going to start afresh. Start anew somewhere else.
Start anew somewhere else. Okay.
And also I think we should switch our left arms.
Oh my God, let's do it. Oh my God, then I'd have one beautiful hand.
Oh, I forgot about that.
No, it's fine. We would just do the jobs together.
Teamwork.
Yeah, be fine.
I don't want your tiny little hand.
You're a monster. Wow.
Although I could get tattoos then.
Yeah, you
I'll
could.
get tattoos on my left side.
There you go. Perfect. Oh, but what would I'd be giving? Let's see what tattoos I'd be giving you. Oh, I'd be giving you some of my favorite tattoos.
I want to get my own tattoos.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I don't want your tattoos.
I think we're going to have to put this idea on the back burner. Guys, we thought we were going to switch left arms, but it looks like we have some more discussions.
We have to talk further.
Yeah, we have to talk further.
We got to figure this out.
Yeah. So Oh,
what's on your right arm?
My right arm is Harry Potter and Susan and soon to be Allison Hatter. Do I have more than that on this arm? I think it's just those.
I think I'd prefer the Harry Potter.
Okay. As opposed to what's on this one? This too shall pass. That's a really good one. Oh, and my grandma's address. You don't need my grandma's address.
Exactly.
And you don't
Eric's.
need Eric's initial.
Yeah.
My dragonfly is cool though.
I don't want it.
You're a bitch.
But I do want to get your tattoo on your arm that becomes my arm.
Oh, the one that I want to get, which was going to be on my left arm. Well, there
I'm
you
going to
go.
get it on my right. I'm going to take your right arm, get it on my right arm.
Okay.
I'll keep my beautiful hand model arm clean.
Great. Okay.
Obviously.
Okay, cool. Well, guys, we've come to something here.
Yeah. If you still want to get it on your left, then we can have matching tattoos on your arms.
Oh my God, matching tattoos on my arms. That's so fun.
And we'll do all our hand jobs together.
Great. Can't wait to do some joint hand jobs with you. Okay.
They
Kim,
pay very well.
Okay, so Mary does
What?
it. What do you do?
You're
moving on.
I don't
Does
do
she
it.
do it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm taking both my arms and I'm starting
And I'm getting
anew.
out of here. Yeah. All right. So Mary is like, how's Friday? Cut to Mary having a drink with Billy at the bar. And she shows Billy the blueprint. And she's like, I'm going to need help to do this.
Oh, shit.
She's like, they need to be operated on at the same time.
Right.
And I only have my two hands. And she's like, do you know anyone good? And he says, I know someone awful who owes me. She's like, great. That'll do.
Oh, fuck.
It's like, cool. So now we cut to Mary in red scrubs with some other doctor. And she says to the twins that are on the table, she says, when you wake up, you'll be more connected to yourselves and to each other. And they like hook pinky fingers across the tables. And then the anesthesia is administered and the fingers drop. Not off their hands. They drop their linked fingers. They don't just like suddenly have their fingers drop off.
That,
right.
But thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome. So then the doctor that she's working with starts speaking German to her. And all we hear is German, 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 blah, 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 Dr. Mengele. And she's like, what? And he's like, twins, yeah? And she's like, oh, yeah. You know who Dr. Mengele is, right?
I do, but like he did what?
He was the most terrifying Nazi doctor,
Right,
but
yes.
he was obsessed with twins.
Right.
So he's making a reference of like, Dr. Mengele.
Right.
And she's like,
Okay.
no, thanks. I don't want to be associated with him. Thank you, though. Dr. Mengele is fucking terrible. Last podcast on the left did like a whole series on Dr. Mengele.
Oh, thank you.
That's what Eric said too. I was like, let's listen. He was like, can we not? I don't want to hear this. So I had to listen all by myself. But there's also a theory that like there's a town in Brazil, I believe, where there is an inordinate amount of twins.
Yeah.
The probability of that many twins is as ludicrous as the probability of you getting so many dead or alives wrong. And so they have a theory that Dr. Mengele escaped to Brazil and like has been doing fucking what the fuck. Anyway, so Mary is like, cool. Like, just be my sous chef surgeon buddy and be quiet. Turns on her classical music. And the other surgeon starts kind of like dancing like a goof. And I'm like, I don't want goofy dancing on my surgeons. I didn't know that was a requirement that I had, but I do now know that it's a requirement. So then we have a montage of the surgery and it's sawing off the arms, switching the arms, cutting into the face. And we see like that something is being like inserted under their eyebrows to like make them be more prominent and then like making their ears pointy and things like that. And then Mary takes her mask off. She's done, looks at the blueprint and like is satisfied. And then we see the blueprint and it is like basically a drawing of this like pointy demon woman thing with just like pointy shoulders and pointy eyebrows and pointy nose and pointy ears and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, damn. Cut to her now sitting in her apartment, and the twins are on 2 beds, like in recovery, and she's just sitting on her couch staring forward. Cut to Billy throwing someone down the stairs at the club who has a bag over his head. And we just have like a POV of like somebody looking out through the bag, and just because it's like a plastic bag, and just like Billy like beating the shit out of him. Cut to Mary walking into like a warehouse type place, like a deserted warehouse type place. And we just hear moaning. And we're like, what is that? She walks in. It's Dr. Grant hanging by hooks in his back skin. Now a quadruple amputee.
Whoa.
And his mouth sewn shut. She's like, hey, I'm just here to take some pics for my new website. She's like, oops, that one looks infected. She's like, you should have seen me tonight. My work has gotten stronger thanks to you. Much better than the work I did on you. And he's like snotting everywhere because like that's the only orifice in his face that anything can come out of, because his mouth is like sewn shut, but not like it's like well sewn, like very clean lines, or no lines, I should say. And she like lifts up his head and she's like, oh, it's disgusting. I'm referring to him just like snotting all over himself. And she's like, what are we going to do today? And she's like looking at him. She's like, I could redo this one. Practice makes perfect, you know, and surgeons can never fuck up. You taught me that.
Yeah, you did.
And she's just looking at thwack. Mary is knocked out cold to the ground.
Fuck.
Camera turns. It's some fucking security guard who's just like, what the fuck? And he's like, don't worry, sir, I'll get you down. What the fuck is this? And he's like trying to like get him down, like lower the chains or whatever. Thwack. Mary wakes up. We have talked about hitting forever or stabbing forever
many times,
forevering
forever.
We have actually never seen or imagined hitting forever, because that's what Mary did, and we had no idea what hitting forever looked like.
Oh no, I've seen it.
It was
You're Next did it.
okay. This felt like
else.
20 minutes of the movie was her hitting someone over and over again. It
Meat
was
tenderizer is the moment that I'm referring to.
Yeah, so this was
which is how we found our favorite weapon.
Real meat tenderizer moment.
Got it.
She appeared to have been
Good for
hitting
her.
him with his own billy club.
I mean, it sucks because he's an innocent person, so I don't actually feel good about that.
No, I don't feel good about that.
I want other people to be hit forever.
Exactly. I did not want him to be hit forever. He was just,
But she definitely has a lot of anger.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
Sort of casual damage? No. Collateral damage. That's what I was looking for. She then walks over to Dr. Grant, who is just laying belly down, whimpering. Obviously, he can't fucking go anywhere. He was just dropped. She stands over him and tases him right in the neck. But I think it killed him. It's unclear, but I'm pretty sure it killed him. So then we cut to Billy beating the shit out of Baghead Basement Dude. And he gets a call and he's like, yeah, thanks for calling back. Can you give Mary a call, please? Now we cut to someone walking into Ruby Doll's boudoir. Ruby is there at the mirror. She's got her like beautiful negligee or like robe or whatever. And it's a gentleman who walks up behind her. And it appears to be the dude from the picture that Mary looked at. And he puts a necklace on her from behind. She then turns around and smiles, and her skin looks plastic. Like, I don't know how they did it. It looks fucking plastic. She turns around. She opens her robe, and it's her doll body. No nipples, no vagina. And the dude looks at her and like freaks out. Like doesn't say anything, but is like, what the fuck did you do? So now we cut to Mary at the club. And the bouncer, Lance, has grabbed her some food. And she's just kind of sitting in a booth with him, stone-faced. And he's eating. And he's like, are you upset? And she's like, of course I'm upset. And he says, about the 2 dead guys? And she goes, it affects me. And it was like a beautiful read on that line. Like I was like, this was gorgeous. It was as if she was trying to convince herself, but also convince Lance. And it's like, it does affect her, but does she wish it affected her more? Or does it affect her so much? Like all of that was in this reading of this one line. It was gorgeous. Then Lance tells her a story. And he says, you know, a kid broke into my mom's house. My mom heard it and she grabbed an umbrella and headed downstairs. And he's like, what she thought she was going to do with an umbrella, I don't know. But she goes downstairs. The kid grabs the umbrella from her and he beats the shit out of her. Punctures her eye, broken ribs, all this stuff. And then he kicks her cell phone far enough away that she can't call for help and she can't get to it. She was found 3 days later. She had been in the hospital for 4 months. And he says, what I wouldn't give to have known you back then when I found that little fucker. And he says, don't ever devalue what you do, Mary. Don't waste a minute thinking about them after you're done.
Wow.
And she says, is that a milkshake? And he hands her a milkshake. She drinks it and she just says, thank you, Lance, for the milkshake and for whatever. Cut to her walking into her apartment and she wakes up the Soskas now. Or says like, you can go now. Then we see them get into a car all bandaged up. And I was like, I really wanted to see. We didn't get to see.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see it. Could have been like a budgetary thing that it's like, you know. Yeah. Mary is now packing up her apartment. She's moving. Cut to her now in a photo shoot in like a studio taking pictures of her subjects. And it's like a voiceover speech. And she's like, don't be self-conscious. No judgment here. Feel free to express yourself. You'll receive your procedure in a safe environment and it'll be cost effective, a supportive environment. And she's like, but it is a hard to put a price on feeling yourself at last. And then we see who she's taking a picture of. And it's like a woman with like self-inflicted back scars that are in like a swirly whatever. And then a dude with only one hand, like being like, thanks for taking my hand. And then a lady with heart nipples. Somehow she's turned her nipples into hearts. And then a dude with horns. And that dude with horns, after she's done her little speech, voiceover speech, he's like, you know what I want done next, Mary? Cut to some sort of infected skin something that has some sort of piercing in it.
What?
I learned later that some sort of infected skin something was a penis. But it didn't look like that anymore. And it's Mary in her operating room and it's the same guy and it's the dude pulling up his pants. And she's like, he says, I thought you meant no sex, not masturbation as well. And she's like, you would think common sense would have told you otherwise, but I guess I wasn't clear enough with you, penis guy. So then the phone rings. Or she's like, you know, it'll be fine in a little bit. Just like, don't fucking pull at your genital modification, idiot. And then the phone rings and it's the detective and he's like, can I come up? And she's like, oh, sure. And then she like kicks penis guy out. She's like, penis guy, you got to get out of here. Go to the back. Blah, blah, blah. She closes up the operating space. She now lives in this like giant like warehouse kind of thing. And she can like close off an entire section of it. And that's where like the operating room is. And close it. And I wrote, it's a delish apartment. Like it's just a really gorgeous like warehouse space that she's turned into a living area. And the detective is at the door and he says, was that your boyfriend? Referring to the guy that was like running away. And she's like, one of them. And and the detective says, it's a much nicer place than the last one. And she's like, I like it. Do you want some water? And he's like, sure. And she says, did you find Dr. Grant? And the detective is like, nope. And now Dr. Walsh is missing too.
Oh.
So we learn that baghead basement dude is Dr. Walsh. And he says they were both into hosting these sex parties. As his back is turned.
They're not sex parties. They're rape parties, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. As his back is turned, we see her put something into his water. And then he says the girls at these parties were drugged and videotaped. Do you know anything about that, Mary? And she says, no, I don't. And he says, I think you do. All those other girls were on the tapes. And she says, was I on the tape? Cut to, as this is happening, Billy watching the tape and really upset. Like somehow he got a hold of the tape, and that may have been why it was the catalyst to go get Dr. Walsh and keep him in the basement. Back to the detective, and he says that she wasn't on the tape. And he says, but I think you were at the party, and I think he hurt you. But I can't help you if you don't tell me. Kim, what do you do? What does Mary do? So they're both holding water now.
I think
So he says, I want to help you.
I think I don't need his help.
Okay.
And I don't think he has anything on me. And
Okay.
I'm going to keep living my body modification life.
Okay.
And fuck off. I mean, thank you for your help and service, but I don't need it. I figured it out myself.
Okay.
I have a bad feeling that she's gonna do something to him. It just doesn't seem like the best idea. Your face looks really weird right now.
Thank you.
It doesn't look like your face.
Whose face is it?
I don't know. It looks like a little doll face.
Ooh.
It was real squishy.
Kim, I have
This was
something
squished.
This is squish. There's something to tell you. I've decided to modify my body to look like a squishy doll in my
like
face
it now.
face area. Fuck you. Okay.
I guess I'll say that she does something to him, like that she put a roofie in his drink or something, and then
Okay.
takes care of him.
No points.
Okay.
As he's about to take a drink of his water, which we already saw her put something into, she quickly grabs it and says, oh, there's a chip in this glass. I'm so sorry about that. Let me get you another.
Good job, girl.
Yeah. She dumps the water out, gives him another. I don't know why I couldn't say that word. And she says, but I don't want to talk about it, and politely sees him out. So then she makes a call to her Nana, and she's like, I'm sorry I missed your call. What? Cut to her deleting her Nana's contact from her phone.
What?
So basically her Nana died, which is like the last tie to humanity that she has, kind of. So now we cut to her in a club, and someone points her in the direction of where Billy is, basically. She walks into the back room, and Billy is getting a blowy. And he's like shocked to see Mary, and he's got his hand on the back of her head, and he gets embarrassed, and like she kind of like gags, and it's like really upsetting like to see. And he like tosses her aside and is sort of like, what can I do for you, Mary? Cut to Billy and Mary at a booth, and she's like, Dr. Walsh is missing. Do you know anything about that? And she's like, and he like doesn't say anything. And she's like, did you see the tape, Billy? And he doesn't answer, but also does answer. Like it's clear that he did. And he says, I had the best of intentions. And, but then he says, but no, I didn't watch the tape. So like he admits to like, yeah, I took Dr. Walsh, but like I didn't see the tape. So then they both look over to the bar, and they see a bartender like secretly pocket cash. And Mary looks to Billy and says, do you want me to take care of that for you? I do owe you one. And he's like, no, we're just going to scare him. And she's like, I can scare him. And he's like, yeah, I'll let I'll let you know if I need backup. She stares at him. He chugs his drink and she's like, excuse me, I need to powder my nose. Now, I'm very confused about what happened. So bear with me. It may be something that I need to postmortem. She seemed really uncomfortable about like catching Billy getting a blowy from that chick. She walks into the bathroom. There are 3 girls standing at the mirror doing their makeup. They see Mary come in. 2 of them run away as if they're like scared of her. Mary says to the 3rd girl, crazy day, huh? The 3rd girl says, yep, pretty crazy. And then that girl leaves. As this is happening, we see/hear that someone is in a stall, like hiding from her and like breathing heavily and scared. We get the sense that Mary also knows someone is in the stall. And she pulls out this giant surgical machete. That's the only way I can describe it. It was definitely a machete type thing, but also
favorite
very
weapon, my surgical
machete. And someone is breathing in the stall behind her. And she's like tauntingly setting up her whole surgery shit and like snapping her black rubber gloves on. And then she opens the stall and it's Blowy Girl. And she's like terrified and she like pulls her out of the stall. And it's like she's going to fuck her up with surgery. And then she like sees a camera and we see her in the camera. And then she like stops and like pulls the girl outside of the club. And she just is like, and the girl is like terrified. And she's like, wrong place, wrong time, wrong dick in your mouth. But then like lets her go. So I'm like, was she mad? Like did her and Billy have a thing? Did her and Billy have a thing? I don't know. It was very confusing. So I kind of want to postmortem that. And
I thought he had a thing for her.
But I didn't know she had a thing for him. Right.
Or a thing that everyone knew about in general.
Yeah. So it's really weird. I want to postmortem it. This could very well be a thing where it's like I'm taking notes and I missed something very obvious. I'm not sure. So Sammy's, if you've seen this movie, I'm fully aware that could have been what happened, but I was confused. So cut to Billy watching the tape of Mary giving him a massage that very first day. She then comes in behind him sexily. She starts kissing on him and giving him a lap dance, kissing him. Stab! She fucking stabbed him. He throws her off and he's like, daydream. He wakes up and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Whoa. So cut to Billy at the bar looking rough, like just looking like I don't know how to handle my life right now. Mary comes up silently to the bar in real life and he pours her a drink and she says to him, do you think I'm crazy? And Billy says no. And she said, someone told me that you were afraid of me. Is that true? And he says, no. And then he says, Beatrice quit today. Stopped answering my calls, stopped coming in. That's dancers for you. And Mary is like, yeah, that's weird. I didn't think that Beatrice had the balls for that, but I guess people can surprise you. And then Billy says, have you ever been to LA? And she's like, no. And he's like, do you want to go? Kim, what do you do? What does she do?
Oh my God. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Yeah. Shit's gotten weird.
No.
Shit has gotten weird.
This has all gone too far. Can I just go back to medical school? What remember those days?
Yeah.
Those were like so long ago.
When you were just trying to figure out how to pay your phone bill, but
my God,
you weren't also denippling people.
Right. God damn it. All right. You know what? Fuck. Okay. Fuck. Go to LA. I mean,
I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I've seen this movie and I don't know what you should do.
I I don't. Fuck. Maybe she goes. I can't get a read on her.
Okay.
She's losing it. Also because maybe they have a thing, question mark. I don't understand what's going on there.
Full,
so maybe,
full
yeah.
question mark. Question mark in bold.
So I'm like, okay, yeah.
So.
And then what do I do? Fuck me. God damn it. I'm going to start anew. Again.
With Billy in LA?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to just go away from all of this. Start anew.
1 point for you. I mean, I don't
Maybe
know
a different country.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to get the fuck out of this country.
Yeah. I'm
I've
sure
killed
the
some people
German
here.
I'm sure the
There's
German
people-
Soska sisters will like put you up somewhere, and I'm sure
Yeah.
they know people that could like change your identity for you.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
go fucking live in Germany.
I'll keep being Bloody Mary. That's cool.
Yeah.
That seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I should probably get out of this country
Yeah. I agree.
and probably stop killing people
Yeah.
from now on.
Yeah. From this point forward.
Right.
We can't go back in time.
No.
We can't correct the mistakes we already
on.
made. We
Excuse
can only
me.
move forward.
Right.
So
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I agree. And then you think she goes?
I don't know, man.
So she doesn't go. So 1 point for you. I don't know that Billy is like the most reliable knight in shining armor, but I'm also like, it couldn't hurt to not be here anymore.
Yeah.
So maybe go to, I don't know. But she doesn't go. And he's like, you should come with me. And he's kind of like over explaining what the road trip is because she's not saying anything. So he's clearly nervous. And then she's just kind of like, I'll think about it. And she's like, maybe I need a change too. Thanks for the drink. And he says, call me. And she says, I will. Goodbye, Billy. I was like, that felt like a goodbye. So cut to her walking up her stairs, going into her new delish apartment. The phone rings. And Mary's like, Beatrice? And Beatrice is on the other end. And she's like, I didn't want to tell them. And we cut to Beatrice. She's beaten the fuck up in her own apartment. Like, absolutely mutilated and obliterated. And Mary is like, what? You didn't want to tell who what? Attacked! She's struggling. Some guy has come into her apartment and is like attacking her. And then it's like they're struggling. I'm like, did she bite him, stab him? Because they kind of both fall to the ground and like he like appears injured. And then we see his face and we see a flashback to, I didn't know Ruby had a boyfriend. And it's the guy that gave her the necklace that was so mad at all of her body modifications.
Mm-hmm.
And we see now that Mary is also stabbed really badly in her apartment. Kim, what do you do? What does Mary do?
I don't know.
You're stabbed, bitch.
Where am I stabbed?
In your abdomen. And it appears, I don't know how it happened, but it appears that the attacker is now out of commission. Like appears to no longer be a threat. You either killed him or knocked him out or something.
I think she surgeries herself.
Okay. What do you do?
I don't want to do any of it anymore. Go to Germany.
You have a stab wound. They won't let you on the plane with an open bleeding stab wound. So you'll have to do something about that first. It's just customs. TSA, they won't let you do it.
I think I'm going to get an ambulance and have someone else surgery me.
I think that's the right choice to stay alive. Instead, she crawls to her surgery space in her apartment, opens the big giant door, crawls into the operating space, and we hear the same music from the suturing of the turkey beginning part. Mm-hmm. She can't stand. She knocks over a table with a bunch of surgical tools on it. And I'm like, oh, well, now they're not sterile. And she fucking sutures herself without even looking. Like, just does it by feel.
Owies.
Yeah. Cut to cop lights outside. looking all over her apartment, just covered in cops, removing her pet bird, and we see the dead guy on the ground. Cops all over her apartment. They find her portfolio of Dr. Grant. And they're just like, barf and what the fuck. Then we cut to the detective walking over to the big giant operating room. Blood everywhere. Mary's body. Dead.
Shut the fuck up.
The end.
Shut the fuck up. She died?
She fucking died. Well, those tools weren't sterile once you dropped them on the floor.
But she's like the best surgeon around. She could surgery herself.
I know, but I think surgery, internal bleeding, that's not
there's
good.
Maybe some other shit going on.
Yeah. Like you can close up the wound, but if there's internal bleeding, then you're just a bag of blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not all in the right place. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So complicated.
It was
so many
really
feelings.
intense. It was really intense.
It was really good.
It was great. And like, she's a phenomenal actor. She's really good. You process your feelings. Let me total up your points.
Okay.
Hey, Sammys. Can't get enough of us? God, you're so greedy.
Jeez.
Come join us over at our Patreon where we have tons more Kim and Ket for you.
Yeah, come get some bone con.
That's bonus content.
We've got t-shirts. We've got videos with research and fun shit.
What else we got?
We've got home games so you can play along. Exclusive poll voting things.
And we have exclusive content that you can't get anywhere else.
So join us and become an official Sammy at our website, www.kimandketstayalive.com. You can find Patreon and any of our links on social media at KKSAMpodcast, or just go straight to patreon.com. Search for us there. We'd love to have you.
Can't wait to see you, Sammys.
Goodbye. Bye.
Phenomenal score, Ms. Burns.
No.
Truly.
Wow.
You got 17.5 out of 22 on your questions.
Great.
3 out of 8 on your dead or alive. I just don't get it.
Shockingly bad.
For a total score of 20.5 out of 30.
I'll take it.
Really impressive. 17.5 out of 22 on your questions. That's really good. That's really, really good.
Motherfucking dead. Oh my God. I have so many feelings.
Tell me a feeling.
Just because all of that happened, all of that started because those guys decided to invite her to a
deviant
rape party to rape her on purpose.
Pretty much.
To roofie and rape her.
Pretty much.
I'm very upset about that.
Really, it all started because we don't treat our students with respect and saddle them with debt that they can't pay for.
True.
It was fucking great though.
Yeah, it sounded very good.
I still need to figure out that one scene. I was very confused about that. So I'm going to postmortem that. Because I'm like, if anything, she seems like more of a feminist where I'd be like, I feel like you should be mad at Billy for treating that blowy girl that way. So it was weird that like she got territorial over him.
Yeah.
So I must have missed something. But happy Women in Horror Month. that was American Mary.
Wrapping it up.
Yep. And you know, it's inspired Kim and I to express ourselves by switching arms.
Right. Oh, I already forgot about that.
Yeah.
Great.
What did we decide? You're taking
it.
my right arm?
I'd like your right arm.
Right arm. Okay. But like, are you right-handed?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I guess that's good.
You're right-handed though, right?
Yeah. But I'm saying
my brain will still be right-handed.
Right.
I actually thought about it. I didn't verbally say this, but I was thinking, I was like, well, that'll keep my beautiful left hand still really beautiful. Like I can do all the grunt work with my ugly little troll right hand.
My troll hand. I do have a little troll hand. It's like all scarred and shit.
Because it's like sometimes even I'm like, even this taking notes and stuff like that, my fingers get a little dented because of like holding a pen and writing so long and scribbling. And I'm always like, oof.
I got all kinds of finger dents.
My little beautiful hand. So it's like, it'll almost benefit me that my right hand can do all the work and that won't be my model hand.
Yeah. Oh, also, here's also why you can't have my left hand, because it has my fucking ring on it with my husband. Eric's going to be so mad that I didn't think of that.
Yeah, like, I'll keep mine for my future husband.
For your future husband.
He can also put his ring on my beautiful model hand.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh, what if you...
We really figured it out.
We did. All right, so next time you see us, Kim and I will have each other's right arm.
Looking forward to it.
So that was all I have. That was Kim. This has been.
So we're doing a live show.
Oh yeah, we're doing a live show. March 15th.
You can follow us at
2020
KKSAM Podcast on all the things. That'll have all the informations.
Yep.
Join our Patreon, buy our merch, do all the things. We love you.
All the things. This has been Kim and Kat Stay Alive.
Maybe.
So until next week,
stay alive. Bye. Bye. Wait, I want to do some warm-ups.
Oh, okay.
I knew you were going to do that, and I was like, waiting for you to be like,
To sit in solemn silence on a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock.
Butta wee wall, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
On a big black block.
Okay.
Eric's probably going to put that at the end of the episode.